amazing session with students of snap 2024. ठीक है गाइस, आज के इस सेशन में हम बात करेंगे कि स्नैप को हम कैसे क्रैक कर सकते हैं। दैट टू अभी आप सब लोग कैट पे फोकस कर रहे होगे और साथ में एक माइंड में चल रहा होगा कि कैट के बाद में जब स्नैप आएगा काफी कम समय बचेगा, तो हम कैसे उसको क्रैक कर सकते हैं। तो इसी के ऊपर बात करेंगे, हम उनसे डिस्कस करेंगे जिन लोगों ने लास्ट ईयर स्नैप को क्रैक किया था, 99 प्लस परसेंटाइल स्कोर किया था। सो यस एवरीवन, एक बार जल्दी से थम्स अप दिखा दो कि ऑडियो वीडियो सब बराबर है। और साथ में मैं आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करवा देता हूं आज के हमारे गेस्ट से, पैनल मेंबर से। सो यस अनंत, धैर्य एंड नेहा, वेलकम टू द दिस गेस्ट सेशन एंड थैंक्स फॉर जॉइनिंग मी, थैंक्स फॉर गाइडिंग आवर स्टूडेंट्स। सो कैन यू क्विकली इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ?
Sure, sir. Great to be here. Hi, everyone. My name is Dharya Khandelwal, and I'm currently an MBA course student here at SIBM Pune. I'm currently pursuing my MBA in marketing. I'm originally from Delhi, and I come from a humanities background. So I have done my BA honors in history from SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Before joining SIBM, I have 23 months of work experience in a social enterprise, and I'm also an animal lover and a hardcore gamer. So if I'm not studying or doing some work, you can always find me petting animals all over our campus.
Great. Yeah.
So hello everyone, I'm Neha R, currently pursuing my MBA in Human Resources at SIBM Pune. I come from Shimoga, Karnataka, and I hold a BE in Computer Science from JCCD, Bangalore. So before stepping into the world of management, I worked for over 2 years at Bosch as an Android developer in the automotive space. It was an exciting phase where I got to build digital solutions that powered smart mobility over time, and I realized what truly fascinated me wasn't just the technology itself, but the people behind it. And I also enjoy theater, and I find it a great way to express creativity and connect with diverse perspectives.
Great. How about you, Anant?
So, good evening, sir. Lovely to be with you, and good evening, everybody. My name is Anant Goswami. I am currently pursuing my MBA in marketing at SIBM Pune. I come from Chennai. I did my BTech and MTech at IIT Madras, after which I worked for a public sector bank for 2 years. And then I worked as a verbal instructor for a CAT coaching for 6 months. And in my free time, in my hobbies, I love to read. I am actually a published author, and I often like to watch games of football. So that's about me.
Thanks everyone for the lovely introduction. I'm sure our viewers have got the idea what kind of background you are coming with, but at the same time they would have got this apprehension कि तीनों जो पैनल मेंबर है वो 2 साल का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस लेके बैठे हैं और SIBM सबका मतलब टारगेट रहता है। तो क्या आप जरा यहाँ पे ये क्लियर कर सकते हो कि क्या SIBM के लिए वर्क एक्सपीरियंस बहुत जरूरी है? क्योंकि एक सैंपल ऐसा मिल गया है जिसमें 100% वर्क एक्सपीरियंस वाले, तो थोड़ा कुछ अगर आप स्टैट्स शेयर कर पाओ एंड वर्क एक्सपीरियंस कितना रोल प्ले करता है, क्या फ्रेशर्स के लिए चांसेस है, थोड़ा ये बता दो, फिर हम स्नैप प्रिपरेशन की बात करते हैं।
So just to clear this doubt, actually it is just a coincidence that all 3 of us are having work experience, but we have a lot of diversity in our batch. We have a lot of freshers as well, and in my personal opinion, I don't think being a fresher or a working professional gives you a disadvantage or advantage. It both comes with strengths and weaknesses of their own. And at SIBM Pune, we have a healthy mix of our batchmates who are coming from being a fresher straight out of college, or having 4 years, even 4 years of work experience.
अच्छा, ओके। बाकी मतलब ये तो मैंने सुना हुआ है कुछ कॉलेज तो मतलब 4-5 इयर्स देख के भगा देते हैं कि भाई तुम एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए करने जाओ। तो एटलीस्ट SIBM में ये अच्छा है कि अगर आपका 4 साल का भी एक्सपीरियंस है, दे लिसन टू यू। दैट्स ग्रेट। ओके, सो दोस्तों, अभी जैसे हमारे सारे ज्यादातर जो व्यूअर्स है इस टाइम पे, कैट आप सबको पता है इस साल 30 नवंबर को है। सो वी हैव अबाउट 12 डेज फ्रॉम नाउ, right? So students are focused on CAT, right? And at the same time they are definitely targeting exams like NMAT, SNAP, ZAT and so on and so forth, right? तो आप लोगों ने भी लास्ट ईयर क्या CAT लिखा था या आपने सिर्फ SNAP लिखा था? एक एक अगर बता सको। एंड साथ में जब आप CAT की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे थे, अगर आपने CAT भी लिखा था, तो आप CAT के साथ में SNAP को कैसे प्रिपेयर कर रहे थे? थोड़ा सा वो स्ट्रेटेजी अगर आप लर्नर को बता पाओ।
So I mean, did take CAT before SNAP, but the prep for both the exams overlaps a lot, like LR, Quant basics, reading speed, and everything overlaps. I treated CAT prep as my foundation stage and didn't prepare for SNAP separately at the beginning. But after CAT, I switched gears and I focused on increasing speed. And for SNAP, it's more about decision making under time pressure more than solving everything. So CAT built my concepts. So the post CAT window helped me adjust my strategy for SNAP.
Okay. Yes. What was your experience, the area? And then Anand, you can also share your experience. How did you manage CAT and then SNAP?
सो ऑफ कोर्स यार मैंने भी दिया था कैट एंड सब कैट से ही शुरू करते हैं कैट दिया था एंड कैट वेंट ग्रेट एक्चुअली बट यू नो even snap went great and my destiny was here, so I am here at SIBM Pune. So that period we had about 10 days before when cat ended and snap started, but now we have shorter window, we have only 5 days. So I would suggest everyone that your MBA starts here, you start multitasking, and I know that both the exams require different strategy, different preparation, but if you can devote even an hour to snap at this stage, you will have an edge, I promise you.
Anand, what would be your advice? How can students manage CAT and SNAP together? Because definitely students are here because they are targeting SNAP exam. They are looking forward to SIBM to become your junior probably.
Sure, sir. I would say that's a very pertinent and pressing question, especially अभी इस समय, क्योंकि आपके पास CAT is just around the corner, and it so happens that this year SNAP is just after CAT, right? There's a 5 to 6 day gap, and then there's SNAP. So, so there's no one size fits all approach, in my opinion. I think it boils down to what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. मैं अगर अपनी बात करूं सर, लास्ट ईयर तो अराउंड दिस टाइम, which is 2 to 2.5 weeks before CAT, is also when I started focusing a lot more on SNAP. And I targeted those sections and topics which are not usually seen in CAT. Because I understood that CAT lays a great foundation for SNAP. If you're preparing very sincerely for CAT, SNAP के लिए आपका foundation अच्छा already बन चुका है. But the next stage is to then go on and cover those additional topics. So that would be my advice to candidates, aspirants. Abhi there are around, there's 12 days, 13 days left to CAT, and उसके बाद आपके पास 6 दिन है for the first SNAP. So as of now, please do focus. अगर आपका priority is CAT, do focus on CAT. But at the same time, if you're having an eye on SIBM Pune, you're having an eye on SNAP, do start looking at these additional topics. आपको अभी से शुरू करना पड़ेगा.
Sorry to interrupt. तो यहाँ पे can you quickly list down those additional topic? मतलब area wise, जैसे we can start with Quant. You can list down the additional topic that you don't find in CAT, but you find very frequently in SNAP. Similarly in LRDI, LR and then verbal. And whatever topics are missing, maybe Dhairya and Neha, you can also add. So learners, जो viewers है, उनको एक complete idea मिल जाएगा, and they can also note down कि ये टॉपिक मुझे एडिशनली करना है. अब उनको अगर टाइम मिलता है वो अभी से भी थोड़ा थोड़ा कर सकते हैं या वो बाद में भी कर सकते हैं. तो इफ यू कैन जस्ट Anand, if you can remember whatever topics you remember, you can list it down.
Sure thing, sir. Sir, I would like to begin by saying that Quant, there are not many additional topics in Quant, but the kind of questions that you will get are different. So they test a different aspect of your understanding. So CAT ka Quant is very concept heavy. SNAP Quant isn't as concept heavy, but you need to be very fast. So your speed has to be there when you're attempting SNAP ka Quant. Now, sir, this question of different topics, alag wale topics, that it becomes very pertinent when it comes to LRDI. Because LRDI, which is called ALR in SNAP, is a little different. So you have clocks here, you have calendars here, you have coding, decoding, you have directions, you have blood relations. These topics पे आपको direct questions CAT में नहीं दिखेंगे, but SNAP में usually आते हैं. तो you have to start focusing on these a lot more. Similarly, sir, अगर verbal की अगर हम बात करें, तो CAT is RC heavy. CAT में आपका parajumbles हो गया, odd ones out हो गया, वो सब feature a lot. In SNAP, on the other hand, grammar plays a very important role. Your vocabulary plays an important role. आपके idioms, your overall grasp on the English language does play a role. So therein lie the differences, sir, in my opinion, and my classmates can add on to that.
Yes, Neha, and then Dhairya, if you can just highlight those different topics which students need to focus apart from their CAT preparation.
Well, like Anand mentioned, there is not a lot of extra topics that you have to cover when it comes to quant, because CAT tests your depth of knowledge and SNAP tests your speed. But the extra topics that you'll have to cover comes in logical reasoning, where you have to cover topics like syllogisms, coding, decoding, blood relations, clocks, and calendars. And also, when it comes to general English, SNAP focuses more on grammars and vocabulary. So we'll have to make sure that your vocabulary is strong, and also the reading speed should also be improved.
Okay. Yes. There
Sir,
anything that you
so I would like to take a different approach here. I know CAT थोड़ा सा आपको टेस्ट करता है. You need to select question in that. But SNAP एक ऐसा एग्जाम है जहाँ पे आप क्वेश्चन छोड़ना इतना ज़्यादा अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते. So you have to attempt at least a given quota of questions so that you can make the cutoff, right? Snap में there are concepts that are different, like data interpretation, data sufficiency comes under quants only. And in verbal, you can see vocabulary, you can see idioms, you can see phrases, and those kind of things, synonyms, antonyms. And then comes to LR. LR is completely different from what you do in CAT. In
Correct.
CAT, you apply logic, you apply time in the set. But in
And
Snap,
there are
you have to be
caselets
quick.
and heavy sets rather.
Yes,
Very
yes.
detailed.
There are caselets. What I like to emphasize, sir, not like CAT. CAT has repeated topics every year, but in Snap, you see some googlies, some different type of questions that Snap throws at you every year. So
Like
you need to
cuckoo
be
clock.
prepared for that. Yes, sir. So while you are preparing for the concepts, you have to also prepare your problem-solving mindset. So you are prepared for those questions. Those are the questions that will get you into SIBM Pune.
Okay. So here, just want to highlight couple of things. So all those who are targeting Snap, guys, just want to tell you, I mean, you must have seen year on year, I have been conducting a series called Snapshot on YouTube. It's completely a free series. So even this year, right after CAT, that is from 1st of December, I'll be launching the Snapshot batch, and make sure that all of you are joining me live for that. It will be happening over here on YouTube. So I'll soon share the link, and please join my Telegram channel. You can see my other sessions on this channel. At the same time, even SIBM is helping you in the students of SIBM is going to help you for your SNAP journey and the symbiosis selection journey. So they are conducting some event. Yes, Anant and Dhairya, you mentioned about that coffee with SIBM event. I think that's a flagship event that you have been doing every year. So can you tell our learner a bit about that? And then we'll once again come back to the SNAP preparation and what should be their strategy and all. But first, if you can just quickly brief them, because I think every year learner participate in that event and they get lots of valuable input. So if you can just tell about that.
Sure, sir. So Coffee with SIBM is the flagship event of the aspirant relation teams at SIBM Pune. Sir, basically, हम क्या करते हैं? We come to your city. This time we're coming to 12 cities, sir. हम आते हैं. We will meet the aspirants. So it's a wonderful interaction between students who are at SIBM Pune and the aspirants who are preparing for SNAP. So it's essentially an interaction, a coming together of people, of two sets of people. एक जो आपके गेट के इस तरफ है, who want to get there, and on the other side are people who have been through this journey and they know exactly what should be done and what should not be done. Because, sir, this is a wonderful opportunity for the aspirants to ask us कि, okay, at this point आपने क्या किया? मुझे ये anxieties है. आप बताइए मैं anxieties कैसे दूर करूं? And we think, sir, we are very uniquely placed to help them in this regard because we have been there and we have done that. So it's an evening of a lot of discussions, one-to-one heartfelt conversations, and of course there's coffee. So coffee in any setting just helps increase and just enhance.
Do you have some dates and all to show to
yes,
the
yes,
learners?
we do, sir. We do have dates. We do have
okay,
dates.
you can quickly show them
very shortly. Yeah.
Right. Okay, in the meantime, someone is asking about percentile required for agribusiness at SIIB. Okay, so I think SIIB probably it's a different question, right? So guys, the students are from SIBM, so you can definitely address they can help you address the queries related to SIBM, right? And your SNAP preparation. So if you have any specific question about SIBM specialization or SIBM query selection process and all, you can post it. Before we proceed, guys, just make sure that you all have hit the like button. We will once again be coming together to help you right before your snap slot 1. So yeah, keep joining us and keep liking and keep sharing the session. Yes. Are you sharing some PPT or something?
Yes, sir. We are actually.
Okay. सो इन द मीन टाइम एक और सवाल जो बहुत ही कॉमन है लर्नर का कि सपोज अभी क्योंकि कैट जस्ट 12 दिन दूर है तो काफी सारे स्टूडेंट्स अभी मतलब चाह के भी वो स्नैप के बारे में इतना नहीं सोच सकते क्योंकि उनका कैट का प्रेशर इतना ज्यादा है, राइट? तो अगर कोई स्टूडेंट है सिंसियरली कैट का प्रिपरेशन किया है, वो अभी स्नैप पे फोकस नहीं करता है, वो 1 दिसंबर मॉर्निंग 8 बजे से स्नैप पे फोकस करता है, तो क्या वो सेकंड थर्ड स्लॉट में स्नैप एग्जाम में अच्छा स्कोर कर सकता है? फर्स्ट स्लॉट तो इस बार 6 को हो रहा है, बट अगर मैं इतना ज्यादा ऑप्टिमिस्टिक ना हो जाऊंगा, सेकंड स्लॉट आपका 14 दिसंबर को हो रहा है, सो क्या 14 डेज सफिशिएंट होगा उनके लिए? इफ यू कैन जस्ट थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन दैट एंड देन विल मूव टू दिस पार्ट.
Sir, sure, sir. As you very rightly said, this time the space or the time interval is very limited between the ending of CAT, आपका CAT खत्म हो रहा on 30th, and your snap first exams on the 6th. But sir, all of this is conditioned or based on the fact कि आपने अच्छे से diligently CAT के लिए preparation की हो. तो अगर आप serious एक candidate हैं CAT के लिए and you've been preparing for a long while, मतलब आपने 300, 350 hours, 400 hours अब दे चुके हैं to CAT prep. You've given it a sincere, like a proper attempt. उसके बाद सर, yes, 5-6 days में to switch from CAT mode to snap mode is a little tricky. It's a little tricky. मतलब क्योंकि those 5 to 6 days you have to be ruthless with your choices. When I say ruthless with your choices, you have to be very clinical about what you're good at, what you're not good at. When it comes to snap, तो CAT has covered, let's take Quant for example. CAT ने आपका Quant का foundation cover कर दिया. But snap is about speed. Now, correct. Those 5 to 6 days, can you adapt to a more speed-based Quant? Can you make that switch? It's a little tricky, but definitely, sir, like you said, maybe first snap mein, not everybody might be able to make that switch, but definitely by the second or third snap, you have had enough days to comfortably shift from a CAT mindset to a snap mindset. So, sir, people have done it. In fact, personally speaking, sir, I did that last year. So, yeah, so up until 24th November, I was completely in CAT mode. I mean, I did have an eye on Snap and I was doing Snap additional topics, but my main thrust was CAT. So when CAT ended, that is when my full-fledged prep for Snap began. And sir,
in which attempt did you get your best score? Was it first, second, or third?
So that was my second attempt.
Second attempt. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Fair enough. Fine. So we can quickly take learners through this coffee with SIBM, and then we can come back and discuss a little more on that part.
So yes, sir. As Anand talked about Coffee with SIBM, it is our flagship event. This time we are coming to your city from 1st to 5th December, and we hope that you guys come to our event. You get to know a lot about SIBM, a lot that we offer, and our secret snap strategies, of course. And you get to know a lot about our stories, how our journey went, and you can get all your queries solved in person. So, sir, in this time of virtual world, we are actually lending a hand and going towards meeting the aspirants in person, even before the exam is happening.
That's great. Fine. So what are the dates? If you can just quickly mention the dates and all.
Yeah. The dates are 1st to 5th December. You can just scan this QR and if you get
do you have any city-wise breakup? Are you going to show city-wise breakup on this date we are going to come to the city or something?
If the students can scan the QR, they will be redirected to our registration form where they can choose their city, and in the city location and the date is mentioned in the registration form only.
So guys, do one thing, just scan this QR code and you will get all the details about the event. That's fair enough. Fine. So, maybe you can put the slide aside. Is there anything else that you'd like to show?
No, sir, that is all.
Because QR code they have taken. Yeah, great. So coming back to our snap part, because that is something that is tricky. So once again, guys, एक और चीज है कि 3 attempts, right? मतलब आपका 3 attempt का एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा था? पहले तो आपने कितने अटेम्प्ट लिए थे वो थोड़ा लर्नर को बता दो, और आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा था अलग अलग अटेम्प्ट का, आपकी स्ट्रेटेजी क्या रही थी फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट के लिए, सेकंड अटेम्प्ट के लिए, थर्ड अटेम्प्ट के लिए. तो कैन यू जस्ट ब्रीफ ऑन दैट वन बाय वन, स्टार्टिंग विथ यू नेहा, probably you can just brief.
Yes, sir. So I took all 3 attempts for SNAP.
Okay.
The first attempt was basically like I went bare to that test because I did not prepare beforehand because it was just right after CAT and my strategy was not very clear. So from the second attempt onwards, I started to refine my strategy and I ended up scoring my highest score in the third attempt. So I would tell that all 3 attempts are equally important. I'd suggest everyone to go for all 3 attempts.
Great. Okay. Yes. Again, Anant, Dhairya, if you can mention one by one.
So yes, even I had taken 3 attempts, sir, because I knew that 3 attempts maximizes my chances. First attempt, I was still figuring out SNAP, the exam, and giving it in the actual examination conditions. So it's a different ball game altogether. तो सर पहला एग्जाम तो आपका पहला अटेम्प्ट एटलीस्ट इन माय केस वो तो एग्जाम को अच्छे से अप क्लोज समझने में चला गया था. देन इन माय सेकंड अटेम्प्ट आई परफॉर्म्ड रियली वेल एंड सर थर्ड अटेम्प्ट के दिन एक्चुअली देयर वाज सम आई वाजंट फीलिंग वेरी वेल ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे. थोड़ा ऑफ डे था मेरे लिए. तो माय सेकंड अटेम्प्ट स्कोर वाज द बेस्ट ऑफ ऑल 3. सो व्हिच इज again what we would like to emphasize to all the aspirants who are here and listening to us, ki please try to attempt all 3. Because you never know which day might be your best day, which day might be your off day also. So it's not just contingent on the fact ki how your preparation is going. आपका on day performance can also fluctuate. तो उसको भी आपको account करना पड़ेगा.
I completely agree. I mean, I really wish के 3 attempts were free attempts. Right? Learners would take it. There are learners who are financially challenged. But guys, मैं पर्सनली एज अ फैकल्टी में आपको ये तो रेकमेंड करूंगा कि 2 अटेम्प्ट ले लेना. आपका स्नैप का अभी तक डेडलाइन खत्म नहीं हुआ है, तो ये तो मत करना कि आप एक ही अटेम्प्ट ले रहे हो. ठीक है, क्योंकि एक अटेम्प्ट तो आपको सिर्फ एग्जाम समझने में चला जाता है. You know, I've been training students for quite some time, so this is what I can tell you. And of course, you have heard from horse mouth, so आपने भी समझ लिया होगा. Yes, Dhairya, what's your opinion? आपने कितने अटेम्प्ट लिए थे and क्या experience
Yeah, sir. Not adding a lot to the diversity here, like Neha and Anant, I also gave 3 attempts. So this was my second attempt at management exams, and the first time around I chose only 1 attempt, but I corrected that mistake in my second attempt, and I went for all 3. And during my preparation, I was focused on all OMETs and CAT as well. So I scored my best percentile in first attempt only. The rest two also went great, but the first one was the best. And for everyone who is asking if the event is free in the chat, yes, it is free, and the coffee is also free. So come meet us at Coffee with SIBM.
So पुणे के अंदर वो तो SIBM के कैंपस में ही होगा.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. ग्रेट. एंड थोड़ा सा अगर आप लर्नर को, अभी हमने स्नैप की तो बात करी, ऑफ कोर्स विल टॉक मोर अबाउट द स्नैप एग्जाम, बट अगर आप थोड़ा सा अपनी मॉक टेस्ट स्ट्रेटेजी के बारे में थोड़ा बता दो कि कब से उनको, जैसे हम मान के चलते हैं कि अभी तो शायद उनके लिए डिफिकल्ट होगा, बट अभी आप सजेस्ट करो कि 1-2 मॉक लिखना, और कैट के बाद में उनको मॉक टेस्ट का क्या प्लान बनाना चाहिए, व्हाट इज द मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ मॉक्स दैट यू विल सजेस्ट, और क्या स्ट्रेटेजी होनी चाहिए, वो एक बता दो. और उसके बाद में हम बात करेंगे ओवरऑल जो SIBM का सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस रहता है, तो डेडलाइंस वगैरह क्या होते हैं. अगर आप थोड़ा सा डेडलाइन ब्रीफ कर लेते हो कि SIBM का डेडलाइन क्या होगा फॉर्म फिलिंग का, और उसके बाद में वो कब अनाउंस करते हैं, मतलब लिस्ट कब बाहर निकालते हैं, फिर उसके बाद में इंटरव्यू वगैरह कब होता है, क्या सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस रहता है, अगर आपने थोड़ा सा उसको ब्रीफ कर दिया तो दैट विल बी रियली हेल्पफुल.
So, sir, coming to mocks, I think preparing for SNAP is an iterative process. You are focusing on speed and accuracy, and for both of these things, you require to give mocks. And since it is just a 1 hour mock, I used to give 3 to 4 mocks a day, because you are not, आप थकते नहीं हो mock देके. You do not feel tired.
3 to 4 mocks a day.
Yes, sir.
Great.
And in my personal opinion, I would suggest you should give at least 30 to 40 mocks before you sit for the exam, or you can space it out between the 3 attempts. That is all right. But if you feel on the D-day that you are giving a mock, you will score your best. That I can promise you. So
Great.
for being calm and not being panicked on the D-day, you should give at least 30 to 40 mocks, in my opinion.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Neha, if you can say something about mock strategy.
Yes, sir. So when I started taking mocks, I made the mistake that most people make. I tried to solve every single question. I went in with the mindset that higher attempts means a higher score, but quickly I realized that Snap doesn't reward speed, it rewards smart speed. So what actually changed my game was shifting my focus from attempting everything to attempting the right questions first. And Snap is about accuracy and not blind attempts. So my biggest learning on the mock strategy was don't go into mocks with the goal of finishing the paper. Go with the goal of maximizing your correct answers. And I also sorted my paper mentally into easy, moderate, and tough questions when I first scanned it. And I would first pick the low hanging fruits first and then come back to the rest of the questions if time allowed. And this shift made the biggest difference in my snap preparation.
Okay, great. How about you, Anand?
So my answer would be slightly different to Dharya's. So I did take a lot of mocks, but I would take one mock a day. And I would make it a point to analyze it in great detail and depth. Because, sir, I think, and I'm sure my colleagues would agree, that mock analysis is very important. Not just the number of mocks you take, वो भी important है. Should take a lot of mocks because that is how you get comfortable with the pattern and the exam. And आपने Googlies की बात की थी, तो Googly को कैसे handle करते हैं, वो भी आप mock दे के ही सीखोगे. It's not something that magically come to you on the day of Snap. So having said that, it's also very important that you analyze where you're going wrong. So this analysis has to be extensive. So go through each section. Suppose quant, figure out if you couldn't do a question, why could you not do it? So there are two reasons generally why a person or anyone is not able to do a question. A, either you're not conceptually aware. So in that case, अगर मैं आपको 10 घंटे भी दे दूं, वो सवाल आपसे नहीं होने वाला. Or B, that you knew the question, आप normal circumstances में solve भी कर लेते, but in that examination pressure, in that examination situation, आप solve नहीं कर पाए, आपको click नहीं हुआ, right? So that is one way of looking at quant, where you bifurcate all types of questions into two types, wherein you realize, okay, conceptual tha problem, or was it the fact that I couldn't solve it? If I couldn't solve it, why could I not solve it? Did I not have enough time? If I did not have enough time and it was a question that I could have solved, मैं ये question आखिर तक क्यों रखा? So, sir, this is how you should start approaching candidates and aspirants should start approaching their mocks. आप हर एक चीज का why पूछो, क्यों नहीं हुआ, क्यों नहीं हुआ, क्यों नहीं हुआ, and if you can answer that why in a very brutally honest way, मतलब no sugar coating, आपकी ईगो को एक साइड अलग रख के आप ऑनेस्टली आंसर कर रहे हो कि भाई क्यों नहीं हो पाया. आई थिंक सर उससे बेटर इंप्रूवमेंट कोई और चीज नहीं देती है. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन माय ओपिनियन.
That's nice input for learners. अच्छा, एक चीज मुझे बताओ कि स्नैप के पेपर में क्या आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया था कि जैसे क्वांट की भी बात करें तो आप देखोगे काफी सारे क्वेश्चन मतलब से 70% क्वेश्चन इजी है, सडनली 20% क्वेश्चन थोड़े ज्यादा ही ट्रिकी आ जाते हैं. ठीक है, चाहे वो ट्रिग्नोमेट्री बेस्ड आ गए या कोई और लेंदी टाइम्स पर डिस्टेंस का क्वेश्चन आ गया, सडनली आ जाते हैं. और सिमिलर चीज एलआर में भी देखने को मिलती है, कोई बहुत ही ट्रिकी इनपुट आउटपुट का क्वेश्चन आ गया जिसको अगर हम सॉल्व करने नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टेंस में भी बैठे तो अलग अलग पॉसिबिलिटी कंसीडर करते हुए 3-4 मिनट लग जाते हैं. तो आप ऐसे क्वेश्चन को कैसे टैकल करोगे? जो मुझे पता है कि क्वांट के अंदर 20 में से 13 क्वेश्चन मेरे हो जाते हैं, लेकिन बात वो 7 क्वेश्चन पे आके रुक जाती है. वो 7 क्वेश्चन मेरा इतना टाइम खा जाते हैं, तो उसको कैसे टैकल करें? सिमिलर चीज एलआर में तो आपकी क्या स्ट्रेटेजी थी उसके लिए? अगर आप थोड़ा उसका बताओ और फिर हम बात करते हैं बाकी के एडमिशन प्रोसेस पे.
Sir, quants में I will tell you what my strategy was. So when I was through with the questions that I found easy, मुश्किल क्वेश्चन पे जब मैं आता था, I used to think of ways जहाँ पे मैं different तरीके से वो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर सकता हूँ. You know, there is backtracking, there's going by the options. You can also eliminate the options. And sir, of course, fluke कर सकते हैं, guess कर सकते हैं, but guess ऐसा करो जो smart हो. अगर आपको करना भी है और लिमिट में, I think 1 or 2 question you can guess, but rest you should solve. Specifically in LR I think does drop some traps where you might find yourself busy with 3 to 4 minutes of questions. I would say सबके कुछ topics होते हैं जो उनको पसंद होते हैं, and उसके बाद जब वो question देखते हैं वो excited हो जाते हैं और उसमें फंस जाते हैं. I think वो नहीं करना चाहिए. You should look at the length of the question, look at the time it will take for you, because हर question के same marks हैं, सब में same marks मिलेंगे. Easy उठा के कर लो, मुश्किल वालों से नहीं होगा.
करेक्ट. Right. If you can share your views on that.
Hello, sir. Yeah, sir. So, like Dhairya said, basically, आपका जो tough questions हैं, initial round one में, I had this strategy called round one, round two. So this is something that aspirants can take away from me. The paper starts. आप पहले do a run through of questions. You look at them and आपको realize होता है, हाँ ये मैं कर लूँगा. क्योंकि आप देखें आपकी स्क्रीन पे आए and already in the back of your head you have figured out not the final answer, but you figured out all the steps that will take you to the answer.
मतलब एक एल्गोरिदम बन गया कि ऐसे करेंगे.
हाँ जी, yes sir. So if you find a question like that, उसको I would make it a point to bag it on the spot. वहीं खत्म करना है, वहीं मुझे वो 1 मार्क लेना है. अब sir, coming to your question, which is how to tackle that ones. So like you said, sir, 20 question अगर हैं, 12 से 13 would be easy or slightly moderate. The remaining 7 would be a spectrum. तो आपके सारे 7 wouldn't be all very difficult. So then what separates people or the toppers from, you know, people who are almost there, just there, this separation वहाँ आता है sir. तो if you are smart enough to realize कि इन 7 में से कुछ questions ऐसे हैं कि अगर मैं 3 मिनट दूंगा तो हो जाएंगे, and कुछ questions ऐसे हैं कि they are मतलब वो intentionally tricky हैं. Like their purpose is not to be cracked in the exam, their purpose is to be left. So that skill you will have to develop. That is recognizing which question is which. तो वो skill से बैठे देखते नहीं आएगा, उसके लिए आपको बहुत practice करनी पड़ेगी.
बहुत practice ही करनी पड़ेगी.
Yes sir, which is why we keep saying mocks दीजिए, please जितने mocks दे सकते हैं दें. That is the whole point. क्योंकि sir it's one of those things I can't explain it. मतलब I cannot tell anybody कि एक थ्योरी है इसे फॉलो करो एंड यू विल फिगर आउट क्या है. नहीं, यू हैव टू, वो आपको एक्सपीरियंस से ही आएगा.
एक्सपीरियंस ही करना पड़ेगा. अच्छा, लर्नर को यहाँ पे मैं चीज बनाना चाहूंगा, जो लोग भी स्नैप की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं. दोस्तों, स्नैप 2023 का अगर आपने पेपर देखा है, उसमें क्वेश्चन पूछा था, 40 स्टूडेंट्स थे, उनका घर से कुछ डिस्टेंस दिखाया था, उनकी स्कूल का या कुछ ऐसा डिस्टेंस थे, 40 वैल्यू लिखे हुए थे और उसमें आपको उसका मोड, मीन ऐसा कुछ फाइंड करना था, डिफरेंस बिटवीन मोड एंड मीन. अब ऐसे सवाल कभी भी सॉल्व नहीं करने होते. आप 40 क्वेश्चन 40 वैल्यूज को रीड करने नहीं बैठते हो. उसके अंदर कोई स्मार्ट गैस का भी कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं बचा था, क्योंकि वो आपको एब्सोल्युटली चेक करके करना था. सो ऐसे क्वेश्चन वो लोग देते हैं एंड दे आर मेंट टू बी लेफ्ट. आप उसमें अपना टाइम डाल दोगे 3-4 मिनट, तो भी कोई गारंटी नहीं होती है वो सही होगा, है ना. तो आपको ये ट्रैप से बचना होगा. एब्सोल्युटली राइट. अच्छा, हम लास्ट पार्ट पे आते हैं जो हमारा आज के सेशन का है कि भाई डेट्स क्या है, इंपॉर्टेंट डेट्स. अगर आप SIBM वगैरह के बता दो इंपॉर्टेंट डेट्स, और थोड़ा सा अगर लर्नर को थोड़ा विजुलाइज करवा दो कि भाई वो एग्जाम लिखेंगे, फिर रिजल्ट्स आएंगे इस डेट के आसपास, फिर उनका एडमिशन प्रोसेस यहाँ से शुरू होगा, पहले शॉर्टलिस्ट आएगा तो पूरा, और फिर SIBM का प्रोसेस क्या रहता है, अगर आप थोड़ा बता दो तो अच्छा रहेगा.
Sir, so Snap last date for registering for Snap is 20th of November. We all know that. And for SIBM, you can register up to 5th of December. That is when our coffee with SIBM is ending, and the first Snap starts from the very next day. And the subsequent rounds, the GPR round starts later in the next year, 2026, where you will find the process happening a little, earlier than rest of the colleges. As of now, the dates are not out yet, but you will find it happening around Jan, Feb, and March.
अच्छा, ओके. यूजुअली SIBM का मुझे जब तक याद है फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड वीक में कुछ होता है, फरवरी, राइट.
Yes.
लास्ट ईयर तो ऐसा था, इस साल का देखना होगा. अच्छा, तो इनका जो प्रोसेस होता है, जैसे ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज रखा है, GD नहीं है, ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज है, एंड WAD वगैरह नहीं है, ठीक है. तो ये ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज क्या होता है, यू कैन जस्ट मेंशन कि आपका ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज में क्या हुआ था, आपका खुद का क्या टॉपिक दिया गया था, क्या एक्सरसाइज कराया गया था. एंड दूसरा, ओवरऑल सिलेक्शन में वेटेज कौन से कंपोनेंट का कितना है. जैसे आप देखते हो कि IIM अहमदाबाद है, 10-12 को इतना वेटेज देता है, वर्क एक्सपीरियंस को इतना, मेल फीमेल को इतना. तो SIBM में तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो थोड़ा सा उसका अगर आप आइडिया दे पाए, सो दैट विल बी हेल्पफुल.
Sure sir. So sir, there is a distinction. Group exercise बोलते हैं हम, उसको group discussion नहीं बोलते. तो सर group discussion में generally क्या होता है, there is a discussion, people just try to butt in with their points and it becomes a game of who is the loudest and who can speak the fastest. So that's not something that we are looking at or looking for at SIBM Pune. The point of a group exercise is sir कि आप collaborate करके एक common consensus पे आइए. So that is what we are looking for in candidates who aspire to join SIBM Pune. तो सर group exercise में आपसे exercises या आपके सामने जो भी topics होंगे, their aim is that to see how well you can collaborate with others. So that is GE for you. And yes sir.
आपके टाइम पे आपका क्या टॉपिक आया था? मतलब was it some discussion, was it some activity? क्या था आपका? You can just briefly mention about your experience.
Sir, frankly, अभी exactly तो मुझे याद नहीं है सर topic exactly क्या था, but I remember it had to do with a lot of collaboration, मतलब because it was like a case, but
Case study type कुछ था.
Yes sir, because frankly I don't remember very well sir exact details up to it's been a while, but the overarching theme was that you have to come to a common consensus.
Okay.
And how well you're able to come to that, how respectful you are of others' opinions. All those were, I felt that they were important, that one had to display those traits.
There, if you can throw some more light, because the viewers are eagerly waiting for that. कि क्या topic होता है? तो थोड़ा
Sir, as Anand explained about group exercise. So the exercise is based on a friendly, amiable discussion and not a debate. And that is what I felt during my GE round. And coming to personal interaction, and that is what we call it, because personal interview puts panic in the student. And from the exam only, we are trying to separate student and panic that they face. So again, snap exam and one hour exam. Not GD, GE, and then EI, not a personal interview, but personal interaction, where we are just conversing with the panelists, we are having conversation, we are communicating.
Just a second. Others, can you please switch off your mic? Because he's speaking, so yeah. Go ahead, Dhairya.
So personal interaction in my case was very friendly, very, very lightweighted. It was not at all an interview. It was just a conversation between the panelist and me. And that is how it went for all my peers.
Okay, right. How about you, Neha? What is your experience?
So, sir, like always, like all the other aspirants, I went in with the apprehension that there would the group discussion would be a fish market. People would be fighting with each other for a chance to speak. But personally, it was a very different experience. It was actually a group exercise where I got to collaborate with my teammates and my fellow panelists, and the overall intention was to arrive at a consensus and solve a given problem. And coming to the personal interaction, it was basically a conversation between me and the interviewer. They wanted to know more about me and background and my personal experiences. So overall, it was actually a very engaging and insightful interaction.
Great. Fair enough. So, I think that was a wonderful discussion. You gave lots of insights about your strategy, how learners should be preparing and managing both CAT and SNAP. I'm sure the viewers would found it useful. I request everyone, दोस्तों अगर हो सके तो आप कमेंट्स में बताना कि आपको कैसा लगा ये इंटरेक्शन, एंड अगर कोई और स्पेसिफिक क्वेरी है तो आप उसको कमेंट्स में पोस्ट कर सकते हो. I or the students of SIBM would be addressing that. And once again, thanks everyone for joining over there for the live session, and thanks guests, thanks the students for joining with us. Right, it was wonderful to have you over here for interaction, and looking forward to have many more such interactions, because our viewers are requesting continuously कि हमें strategy बताओ कैसे crack करेंगे. So I think you guys are the best people. So once again, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a great session. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you everyone for listening to us. And do come to Coffee with SIBM, meet us in person, and see what life is at SIBM Pune.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. See you in the other session. Till then, bye-bye and take care.